What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Clown Questions, the show where there are no dumb questions. I'm your host, Matt K. Maurer, and the question on my mind today is, should we vacate Michigan's title? I'll attempt to answer that question in addition to some others. First, your interruption with Trevor Megill. Top 10 Goosebump moments of the week. No mega show, it's a regular show today. And I'll, of course, do my game of the week at the end of the show. So who's down to clown?
That's a clown question, bro.
So, should we vacate Michigan's title? I think the answer before all this news came out today to anyone in the world other than a Michigan fan would be a resounding yes, vacate the title. They cheated. Connor Stallions was stealing signs, so they knew the plays before they were put into place in games, and that's why they won the title. Jim Harbaugh is a great coach. I'm a fan of him as a coach, but he cheated, and he's about to pay for it. So here's a headline for you guys, and this is a real headline I saw online. I forget if it was NBC. I think it was NBC, and I just saw this headline and started laughing. Here's the headline. Overwhelming evidence shows impermissible scouting scheme in Michigan football program. That's a pretty damning headline. Clearly, Michigan fucked up here. That's $1 for the F-bomb jar. Forgot I had that jar for a little bit, but there's an F-bomb, and there's $1 for my Auntie Julie's charity of choice. But yeah, back to Michigan. Pretty clear they were cheating, and the NCAA is going after them for it. So Connor Stallions, of course, he is the scout made famous from his scheme and his scouting schemes, stealing signs, and probably amongst other recruiting violations. That's not a recruiting violation, but they were also tied up in some recruiting violations. So Connor Stallions has an 8-year show cause order, which restricts him from all athletically related activities during that 8-year period. Jim Harbaugh gets a 10-year show cause order restricting him from all athletically related activities during the show cause period, which will begin on August 7th, 2028, at the conclusion of his 4-year show cause order from a previous case. I think it's pretty clear Jim Harbaugh will never coach college football again. I believe he will retire out of the pros, although I think I've heard quotes from Harbaugh that say, I want to coach football and then die. So maybe he won't even retire. Maybe he will just pass away as a coach. But it won't be in college, at least not for the next 14 years here, 13 years. Yeah, he already had a 4-year ban, and now they're tacking on another 10. I think they kind of had some more concrete evidence on the sign stealing, and they found additional recruiting violations, as I said. Another person who received penalties here, which was surprising to me because I didn't even know he was I didn't even know he was a coach at Michigan, nor that he was tied up in this, but Denard Robinson, who I really enjoyed watching as a quarterback. He was fun to watch just because he was a quarterback and he wore number 98, I think, in college. So it was just hilarious to see someone in that number at quarterback. And he was a fun player to watch as well. But Denard Robinson, he gets a 3-year show cause order, which, of course, restricts him from all athletically related activities during the show cause period, as I mentioned above, with the Stallions and the Harbaugh show cause orders. In addition to that, Michigan was fined $50,000 plus 10% of the budget of the football program at Michigan. That's a lot of dough, as well as being fined the equivalent of its revenue share from the next 2 college football postseasons. These are financial losses that could exceed up to $30 million, according to Sportico. So yeah, Michigan fined anywhere in the range of 20 million to up to like what we could say could exceed 30 million, according to Sportico. And that's not the only penalties. There's one more penalty, and it's a 1-game suspension for their head coach. I believe his name is Shea. I know it's Serrano because I do have Serrano written down here. But yeah, Shea Serrano, he's been suspended an additional game. Michigan previously self-imposed a 2-game suspension, which I talked about on a previous podcast, was a bullshit suspension because they said, yeah, we're gonna do week 1 and week 3. We want you for Oklahoma. Yeah, of course you want him for Oklahoma. That's a lot harder than playing a cupcake. So, but yeah, he's suspended an additional game. But it would be really cool if they could suspend him for that Oklahoma game. I'd like to see Oklahoma beat the Wolverines there. But apparently this suspension will be served the first game of the 2026 season. So it's all just a bunch of BS. Connor Stallions will find a job somewhere, probably with the well, you can't find one in college. I was gonna say with the Tar Heels, so he can do a little cheating with Bill Belichick, who's probably the greatest cheater of all time. Maybe now Barry Bonds got caught, so yeah, it's definitely Belichick, greatest cheater ever. But Stallions can't do that because he has this 8-year show cause order. So I don't think it's for Harbaugh and Robinson. I don't think it's just related to the Michigan program. I think they're also prohibited from other universities as well. But yeah, all of this is a long-winded way to say these suspensions, these show cause orders, whatever the hell a show cause order is, that's not enough. What we need is Michigan to get their title vacated for the good of the sport, for the integrity of college football. Please vacate Michigan's title. But as we know, who really cares when a title gets vacated? That honestly makes it kind of cooler. Do you think those Louisville players on that Rick Pitino team, was it 2013, 2014, when they won a title, that title did get vacated? You don't think they claim that? You don't think people, when they introduce him on a podcast, still introduce him as a national champion? Of course, no one would care if they vacated, but I want it vacated. Michigan, you don't deserve it. You cheated, and you should pay for that more than the $30 million you're already probably going to have to pay. You should have to pay, and they should have to take that trophy away from you. But let's move on to some NFL with my next question, which is a doozy. Are the Browns going to win the Super Bowl? Yes and no would be my answer to that. Are they going to win the Super Bowl this year? Obviously not. We're going to have some combination of Flacco, Pickett, Gabriel, Sanders. Maybe we'll see Deshaun Watson at some point. Snoop Huntley, perhaps. So no, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. But eventually, I do think they will win the Super Bowl. And I think that Super Bowl will be won with Shedeur Sanders. I don't know who's been watching preseason, but preseason is the end-all, be-all. What you see in preseason is a huge indication of what's going to happen. So I'm not overreacting one bit here when I say Shedeur Sanders is going to be a Super Bowl champion with the Cleveland Browns one day, because in his first ever NFL start in preseason, Shedeur Sanders had passing. He passed for 14 of 23 passes, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a passer rating of 113.9 in preseason. But Shedeur looking amazing. I don't know who saw that highlight throw. I don't know why people are calling it a highlight throw, because no one knew the guy who caught it. They just knew Shedeur Sanders, who's throwing it. That was not a highlight throw. The guy caught it with one hand. He kind of overthrew him there. But obviously, I'm overreacting to the preseason here, but I that's a legitimate take. I know a lot of the shit I do on here is somewhat satirical, but that is a legitimate take that I do think Shedeur Sanders will win a Super Bowl, and I do think he will win it with the Browns. I just think that chip on his shoulder and the talent he has, he's not a 5th-round talent. He was maybe not a 1st-round talent, but he's at least a 2nd-round talent. I think that chip on his shoulder will help him throughout his career and will help the Cleveland Browns finally win a Super Bowl. I don't know. Have they won one? I don't think so. No, I think we would remember that. Yeah, Browns definitely have 0 Super Bowls, but they will have one day with Shedeur Sanders. This take will last until Shedeur Sanders retires, because even if he's on a different team, in theory, he could go back. So, yeah, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Actually, don't, Shador, because I'm rooting for you, and I would love to see the Browns win a Super Bowl. That would be great. Speaking of the Cleveland Browns, they're also the brunt of my next question. Who's innocent? Not Deshaun Watson. He did get convicted, guys. I know he got paid a lot of money, but he still was in the wrong in those massage parlors. But who's innocent were a current Cleveland Brown and I think a new Cleveland Brown. I don't think he officially signed, but he said he would sign. But these guys are two guys that could make that Shador Sanders take come true. They could help him win a Super Bowl. Not this year, but eventually. But yeah, so Cleveland Browns rookie running back Quinshon Judkins is apparently innocent. He will not face a formal misdemeanor battery charge over an alleged domestic incident in South Florida last month. A spokesperson for the Broward State Attorney's Office told ESPN on Thursday. Sorry, I had to take a sip of water. Been rambling. But maybe the phrasing of this question isn't quite what it should be. Who's innocent? I don't know if Quinshon Judkins is necessarily innocent, but he won't face charges. The charges are apparently being dropped. He's still, the accusations are still there. I guess maybe I can't answer this question. Who's innocent? Maybe Quinshon Judkins. But let's talk about the newest Cleveland Brown, Isaiah Bond. He is apparently also innocent. The sexual assault case against the former Texas wide receiver has been no-billed, and he faces no further criminal charges. Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis said Thursday. After reviewing all the evidence presented, a Collin County grand jury returned a no bill in the sexual assault charge involving Isaiah Bond, meaning no indictment will be issued, Willis said in a statement. This concludes the criminal proceedings in this matter. So Isaiah Bond, innocent. Innocent, I guess, until proven otherwise. And yeah, after this news came out, he signed a contract he said he intends to sign a contract with the Cleveland Browns. I don't know if he's officially put pen to paper yet, but yeah, he will be a Cleveland Brown pending weird circumstances. But yeah, that's another guy who's apparently innocent. But yeah, those Cleveland Browns jokes are going to be never ending, as they now have, at least 3 people. And yeah, you could say a 4th with Myles Garrett after his assault of Mason Rudolph years ago. And Shador Sanders got a speeding ticket. People are doing photoshops of the Cleveland Browns with the longest yard, movie poster. Deshaun Watson, of course. But yeah, a lot of alleged criminals. Not most of them got the charges dropped, except for Deshaun, who just got paid $200 however many million dollars. But yeah, those 2 Cleveland Browns are apparently innocent, and this guy, I'm positive, is innocent. As you guys know, I'm a huge Shohei Ohtani fan, because who isn't? But yeah, the Dodgers' 2-way superstar is again the subject of controversy after a Hawaii real estate investor and broker filed a lawsuit against him and his agent, claiming the pair got him fired from a $240 million luxury housing development on the Hapuna Coast. I don't even know. We haven't even gone to trial yet. I haven't seen any of the evidence. I don't have any of the information, but he's definitely innocent. Shohei Ohtani's a stand-up guy. He's never been involved in anything as innocent as gambling, not even his interpreter. But yeah, here's another quote from an article. Bailelo and Ohtani, who were brought into the venture solely for Ohtani's promotional and branding value, exploited their celebrity leverage to destabilize and ultimately dismantle the plaintiff's role in the project for no reason other than their own financial self-interest, the lawsuit reads. Per the Associated Press, $240 million, that is no small lawsuit. I don't know how much Ohtani's lawyers are getting paid, but I assume they're getting paid enough to where Ohtani will not be paying that $240 million And regardless if his lawyers are good or not, he's innocent, so he's fine. Free my man Ohtani. Let's move on to, well, another guy who might not be innocent, but my next question is, will Rice get suspended? So according to ESPN, the Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice is expected to have his disciplinary hearing with the NFL on Tuesday, September 30th in New York. This means that Rashee Rice is now likely to be able to play the first 4 weeks of this season before any potential discipline is imposed for his role in a multi-car crash in Dallas during the 2024 offseason. If I remember correctly, that multi-car crash was a multi-car hit and run. I believe Rashee Rice was driving. But yeah, they answered the question, will he get suspended? Yes, he will get suspended. For how many games? Who knows? 3 or 4, maybe only 2. But the better question is, when will he get suspended? We don't know, but apparently it won't be until at least week 5, because that's when his disciplinary hearing is. What's with the NFL? Maybe it's a statement on the American legal system, but what's with the NFL and not suspending players until a year later? They're like, oh, Jordan Addison, he probably got a DUI, but let's wait until all the facts come out. And then I guess they went through court, and Jordan Addison gets suspended this year. Similar case here with Rice. I don't know if there was alcohol involved, but it was arguably even a more dangerous situation. We're not going to compare traffic violations as the lightest way of putting this. These crashes, but yeah, Rashee will be suspended. For some reason, I don't think he'll get suspended until next year. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of mid-season suspensions after, the court case is settled in the middle of the season. I feel like they wait another year and do their own little NFL investigation. But yes, Rice will be suspended. We just don't know when. It would be funny if it happened mid-season, or if it happened late in the season and the Chiefs lose him for a couple playoff games. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Won't be suspended in the meantime. But if you're Tyler Gowan and you're watching this podcast, he will be suspended. Do not draft him in fantasy. Terrible player. You don't need him. And yeah, let's move on to my team, to our team, the Brewers. And the question is, how are the Brewers doing this? We have been amazing. We are the best team in baseball. I think we have the best record in baseball by 6 games. We're currently, I believe, 8 games up on the Cubs, pending me checking the score of their game today. The Cubbies lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Brewers are up 8.5 games right now. If they win tonight, it'll be 9. If they win tonight, it will be a 13-game winning streak. I got to finish this podcast soon because the game will be on at 5:40. It's 5:10, and I'm praying that Matthew McKenna, who logged into our Amazon Prime, I'm praying the Apple TV that's connected will allow me to watch the Brewers game. Shout out Matt McKenna. Thanks for letting us use your Prime. But yeah, Brewers looking to tie a franchise record tonight. A night or two ago, we got our 12th straight win, and that's George Webb predicting every year that the Brewers will win 12 straight. We did it. We came a game shy when we lost to the Mariners a couple weeks ago, but this time we did it. We get free burgers August 20th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Time at any George Webb location in Wisconsin. Who isn't hyped for some free burgers from the Brewers? But yeah, Brewers are the most impressive team in baseball. Like I said, best record in the league by a number of games. 2 different 11-plus game win streaks this year. And yeah, I don't know. It's all you can do is marvel at it. I just watch them, and the Moneyball soundtrack just plays on repeat in my head. It's inspiring stuff. The way they've been playing, the way they fight, the way they're never out of a game. I picked that game of the week last week for us to beat the Mets. Thought my pick wasn't going to do so well. I had the Brewers. Mets were up 5-0. We came back. Isaac Collins, walk-off homer, will, of course, be in the top 10 this week. Blake Perkins, that throw. Who saw that throw from center field on one hop to get the runner at home? That, of course, will also be in the top 10. But, Yeah, the big question is, how are the Brewers doing this? How are they the hottest team in baseball, best record in baseball? They went from being 6 games back on the Cubs to now being 8 games up on them. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So how are the Brewers doing this? I ask again. 2 different things I would say would be the pocket pancakes and the power of friendship. I don't know which factor is stronger. I think both are equally as important. I don't know the full backstory on the pocket pancakes, but I think Sophia Minahert or some Brewers reporter was interviewing our manager, Pat Murphy, and he pulled something out of his pocket and took a bite. She's like, "What is that?" He's like, "It's a pocket pancake." So our pocket pancakes have been doing a number on opposing ball clubs. We just murdered the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think put 14 runs up in a game where they started Paul Skeens, the best pitcher in baseball. Then we scored 14 runs the game after that. So, it's the pocket pancakes. It's the power of friendship. They play baseball the right way. And that's why I'm going to make this first year interruption this week with a Brewer. And that would be Trevor Megill. Talking about a little bit about the power of friendship, and I regret to inform the King, who probably hates this show, that this is a clip from Pat McAfee, but I picked it for Megill, not for Pat McAfee. But here it is, first year interruption with Brewers closer Trevor Megill.
We were just talking to a legend there, it felt like, and I started watching your shit and watching the Brewers since then. Fun team, bro.
Yeah.
Fun team. You're fun. You're an entertaining
power of friendship, man.
That is power. Hey, put her there, pal.
Absolutely, right here. I even got the shirts, man. These things are dropping. I think this week you can get them on athleteslogo.com. 15% of them are going to go to the flood victims out here in Milwaukee. So
okay, great plug. What is the website?
athletelogos.com.
All right.
They got everything you need. They got, I think I checked this morning, they got mugs, hats, jackets, etc. But chunk of that's gonna go to a good cause out there in Milwaukee.
All right, we will buy a whole slew for us, and if we can help out any other way, you let us know. Okay.
Fun little interview there with Trevor Megill on Pat McAfee. He said it. How are we doing this? It's the power of friendship is clear. Those shirts look dope. I'm so broke. Otherwise, I would immediately be buying one. Go to, I think he said Athlete Logo. Excuse my burp. He said athletelogos.com. Maybe athletelogo.com. Some of the proceeds go to the flood victims in Milwaukee. So great cause there. Maybe when I save up some money, I'll get a Power of Friendship t-shirt. But man, I'm so hyped on the Brewers. I just it's inspiring to watch. I was just watching in disbelief. I was rooting and cheering and screaming for nearly every second of that Brewers 5-0 comeback against the Mets. And then Isaac Collins hit the walk-off homer, and I was just silent. I was speechless, just standing there, like, just almost laughing, like I wasn't even surprised because the Brewers have been playing so well. I just saw that. I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, of course, that's how my brother earlier in the day is like, why are you watching the Brewer game? It's 4-0. Baseball's so boring. And then Collins does that, and I'm just speechless. But shout out to Johnny. He said he watched some Brewers like edits on probably Instagram Reels, and he's getting hyped. He's getting into it, as anyone in Wisconsin should be. This Brewers team is fun as hell to watch, and yeah, hope they keep this run up, and I think they can because we got great pitching, great hitting, great fielding. Everything you want in a ball club is the Milwaukee Brewers right now. I'm not the jinx god. I'm not going to make any predictions for us, but let's keep it rolling, Brew Crew, and let's keep the podcast rolling with everybody's favorite moment of the week, the Goosebump moments of the week. Here they are, the top 10 Goosebump moments of the week. Starting off at number 10, we have Gleyber Torres with the eventual game-winning sac fly RBI in the 11th inning for the Tigers.
Bunting when you can have that.
Swinging a high fly ball right field. This will get the run home. Larnach back to his left now in. Makes the catch. Keith will tag, come home. Throw to the plate. Not in time. Strong throw by Larnach. Colt, he scores. A wild pitch helps the Tigers take the lead here in the 11th.
Number 9, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. hits one off the wall for a Diamondbacks walk-off win.
It's a deep left. Going back is back. It's off the base of the wall. It's a Pina party as the Diamondbacks walk it off 6-5.
Number 8, Luke Keeschel crushes a walk-off homer in the 11th for the Twins.
And Luke Keeschel continues to be an impact bat for the Minnesota Twins since coming back from the injured list, and has a walk-off hit in an 11-inning game.
Number 7, Jurickson Profar climbs the wall for this ridiculous home run robbery.
Far at the wall.
Disgusting.
He brought it back.
Number 6, Joe Adell walks it off for the Angels in the Freeway Series.
1-2. And a high chopper. It's over Muncy. It's into left field. Say goodnight to the Dodgers. The Angels have their number. And tonight, the number was 7-6 on a walk-off from Joe Adell.
Number 5, Jake Berger's walk-off single caps off the Rangers' comeback win.
And that one, if it stays fair, ends it. Fair ball. And the Rangers win it in the 10th. Maybe the most unlikely comeback of the year.
Number 4, Jackson Holliday's double is good for the Orioles' first walk-off win of the year.
Right side. That's a fair ball. This is into the corner. Carlson to third. Carlson's coming home. Jackson Holiday. And the Orioles finally have their walk-off.
Number 3, Ramon Laureano bloops one to the outfield to walk it off for the Padres.
Chops one to left field. Bogart's being waved around. He's coming around. The Padres walk it off. Ramon Laureano drives in the game winner.
Number 2, Isaac Collins rips a walk-off dinger for the Crew.
Deep right. It is back. Soto back. Out of here. Isaac Collins walks it off against the Mets. You can't make it up.
Diaz gives up his first run since June 2nd, and it comes in this building against the hottest team in baseball.
Number 1 moment of the week, Blake Perkins guns down Starling Marte at home plate to win it for the Brewers. Are you kidding me?
Perkins throw to the plate on a hop. Ball game over. Blake Perkins loads up the rifle and finishes this game.
Now this is what the Brewers do. They play good, fundamental baseball, great defense, and a fantastic defensive play ends the night.
The power of friendship, man. The power of friendship. I don't even think that's a biased top 2 at all to make the top 2 both Brewers plays. Winning a game on gunning down someone at home plate, that had to be number 1. Blake Perkins, unbelievable, love it. The Isaac Collins walk-off dinger was amazing. That Blake Perkins play was so cool. One of the biggest crowd pops I've ever heard, anyone's ever heard. I loved that his brother, William Contreras, I love how William tagged him out and he turned away from the umpire and William pumped his fist before the umpire pumped his fist. So it was like they were both saying that's an out. William knew it and he was right. Trevor Megill with his arms up in the air, like I almost blew a save, and he's screaming like, "Are you not entertained?" Like, such an amazing team. Yeah, really excited for the playoffs. I'll knock on wood there, but I don't think that's a jinx. I think we'd have to have a historic collapse to not make the playoffs. So yeah, looking forward to October, and yeah, hoping we keep this rolling here. Great homer from Isaac Collins walk-off. I had a walk-off homer at number 8. Usually walk-off homers take priority because home runs are cooler than most plays. But I put that homer at, number 8 because the call was horrible. The commentator had no excitement at all. He's like, and Luke Keeschel hits it out. That's a homer. Like I was like, how is this guy? He sounded bored. Like he just saw a walk-off homer. The Minnesota Twins did blow it up, and their owners suck. So maybe it's just that depressing to be in the Minnesota Twins organization that you can't even be excited about a walk-off home run. That is a possibility. But let's finish out the show here. We're going to have our game of the week. I feel like I've been picking a lot of Brewers games here. Well, and now I'm picking a lot of Mets games. I'm going back-to-back Mets games for game of the week. This game is this Sunday, Mariners at Mets, Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. My pick is going to be Mets money line. On the bump, we got George Kirby versus Clay Holmes. Both of them have identical ERAs. They both have an ERA of 3.71. Kirby has a win-loss record of 8-5. Holmes is 9-6. So I think it should be a good one. Despite the fact that the Mets have been an absolute dumpster fire, and they had 3 absolutely delicious collapses against my Brewers. But now they have to face the league leader in home runs, Cal, the big dumper, Raleigh. So while the Mets are a dumpster fire, I am taking Mets money line in this Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN game. But the question still remains, can the Mets dumpster fire defeat the big dumper?